Assalamualaikum. My name is Wan Shira binti Wan Muhammad Ghazali from the Department of Communication. Today I will present on the coverage of vaccination issues in Malaysian media, a framing development and pilot testing. This research has been carried out by a group of 6 researchers, namely Dr. Shafizan, Dr. Helmi, Dr. Shakira, Dr. Kamaruzaman, Dr. Hamidah and myself. And the presentation today will be focusing on the development of the framing items and how we go about to solve the issue of low intercoder reliability. Alright, stay tuned. The vaccine refusal and rejection scenario has come to light in 2012, which has been regarded as a small movement due to its covert approaches. However, the group has become more pronounced a few years later, especially on the social media, through the insemination of anti-vaccine sentiments that has influenced the general public. According to a children pediatrician and neonatologist, Dr. Musa Muhammad Nordin, only about 35% of online vaccine-related information could be trusted, since the remaining 65% is from the anti-vaccine groups. Therefore, this research suggests that there is a need for mainstream media intervention through reporting to boost vaccine uptake. But to contain the public dependency on the internet as a source of health information is a real challenge. The health fraternity is encouraged to include the mainstream media to be one of its official platforms in addressing health messages, especially those related to vaccination, since information on the internet is mostly misleading. In an attempt to respond to concerns about potentially harmful anti-vaxxers messages, a call for responsible and ethical reporting is needed. To date, most research has focused on how the media presented vaccination issues and their impact on vaccine uptake. For example, a study by Pew Research Center in 2017 claimed that Americans who closely follow vaccines news reports have a more positive view on childhood vaccines. Media stories are claimed to enhance the public awareness on the importance of vaccination, thus encouraging free will decisions. In contrast, a study by Tran et al. 2018 showed that the media representation of vaccine side effects cause individuals to feel hesitant or even refuse vaccines. Yu et al. 2016 maintained the similar finding that the media coverage of possible adverse side effects of hepatitis B vaccine led to the decrease in people's confidence in the vaccine. Bodimer et al. 2012 raised concern that the media balanced reporting, such as giving equal voice through stories that are in contrast with scientific evidence, may actually provide an imbalanced account of HPV vaccine. Their study suggested that journalists should include experts as the news actor to help them make their stance in reporting vaccine-related news. In view of this discussion, an explicit statement by Liz et al. 2010 that the traditional media is a poor vehicle for communication of scientifically accurate information about health and medicine, prone to sensationalism, sins of omissions, and sheer inaccuracy, has its ground. Thus far, the discussions have pointed out several loopholes in how the media representations of vaccines could mislead the public due to their objective or neutral reporting. The discussion led to 2 important questions. Should the media represent vaccine issues objectively and neutrally, or should they go beyond objectivity and make a stance? Or is it sufficient to rely solely on journalistic values when reporting about vaccination? Specifically, the objectives of this presentation are to report the processes involved in developing coding items in order to identify the reporting of vaccination issues in the Malaysian media. Secondly, to identify suitable methods in addressing intercoder reliability issues. And thirdly, to highlight challenges in ensuring intercoder reliability is achieved. The problems pointed out previously have led to the following approaches. A two-phase approach was undertaken to determine the coding item's validity and reliability. In order to achieve the coding validity, the first phase involved assembling opinions of experts on issues pertaining to vaccine misinformation through in-depth interview and drawing items from past studies on the main concerns pertaining to vaccination. At the second phase, the input from the first phase was incorporated in the code book. This is to ensure that wording and content analysis codes and variables are both appropriate and comprehensible for this research. 6 researchers and 1 research assistant involved in the development of the code book. Based on the uniqueness of the phenomenon, the experts' opinion on the issue, and the agreement among the researchers, we develop coding items specific for this research. The general coding items include headlines, source of news, main target readers, news angle, and slant. And there were 5 frames developed, namely informative frame, proactive frame, warning frame, and commercial frame. Another frame was adopted and adapted from the literature, which is policy or action frame. The informative frame deals with the cognitive aspect where the news is created to present information using facts, evidence as well as scientific data to report the current development on vaccination. The frame will make known current issues and special announcements related to vaccine, while the proactive frame addresses the behavioral aspect in which the story focuses on actions that should be taken upon reading the story. The media coverage using this frame will lead readers into making certain decisions related to vaccines. The warning frame focuses on the consequences of failure to adhere to certain recommendations or rules. The frame emphasizes on the risk and danger that will be inflicted on individuals, a group of people, society, and the nation as a whole on issues pertaining to vaccination. And as for the commercial frame, it presents issues with profit-making intentions. The frame reports an issue based on market or economic prospects in focus that addresses certain companies, NGOs, and individuals' interests, while the policy or action frame focuses on the policy measure taken by government or any responsible parties to deal and tackle the issue at hand. The media will cover issues by providing more information to prevent and control vaccination issues. The frame is also used to describe the process of solving the issue and emphasize on the action taken by any responsible parties as well as the outcome of the action. In order to test the reliability and the validity of the codebook and the coders, an intercoder reliability test was carried out. 3 coders involved to code 30 news articles on vaccination issues from the News Straits Times. Coding briefing involving coders and researchers took place before the data being coded. Reliability test was not achieved the first time it was run. Data consolidation was carried out after the intercoder reliability test in order to clarify issues, problems, and concerns faced by coders while coding the data. There were few problems identified. The first one is one coder has the least intercoder agreement. Second, too many categories offered under each frame. And thirdly, coding categories were being too specific. Based on the results of the intercoder reliability test and the reasons stated previously, the coding items were refined by the research team. One particular coder was excluded from the research, and the second coding briefing was carried out in order to enhance coders' understanding on coding items. In addition to this, researchers and coders gather several times during the data coding process in order to ensure that they
are able to achieve similar understanding on the coding items. The intercoder reliability result was greatly improved that each framing variable achieved the acceptable alpha value. Initially, the research used Krippendorff's alpha in order to report the intercoder reliability test as 3 coders involved. Since one coder will be excluded from this research, the research uses Cohen's kappa to report the intercoder reliability test. As a conclusion, to enhance coders' understanding of the coding items, data consolidation and discussions between coders and researchers during the coding process is very important. The results of the pilot study have provided the basis to further refine coding variables, hence ensuring the method's validity and reliability. These coding items should provide a useful tool in research on the coverage of vaccination issues in Malaysian media, and it is hoped that this would allow for better understanding on the roles that the media should play in promoting vaccine uptake. That's all from me. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a nice day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.